All right, Transformers fans. We are with Drew Nolosco, who is the global brand manager for Transformers TCG, and we want to hear a little bit about the new San Diego Comic-Con, the Blaster and Soundwave set.
So, our way to celebrate. Hi, Aaron. How's it going? Hello, everybody on Unicron.com. Our way to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Transformers was to play to the strength of the Transformers trading card game, which is our ability to do really obscure stuff or very specific versions of characters. So we went all the way back to the original release of Blaster and Soundwave and pulled the G1 box art and used that as the bot mode art for the characters. And there's 8 characters in here. You've got Blaster, Soundwave, and they each have 3 mini cassettes. There's 2 decks, so it's ready to play right out of the box.
Yeah.
But we had an interesting conundrum that you fans on Unicron.com are probably pretty familiar with, which is way back in G1, they never did alt mode art in the box art style.
Yeah.
So our cards are two-sided. They've got bot mode on one side, alt mode on the other, and we had to have something for the alt mode. So we commissioned Marcello Materi to come in and emulate the original G1 packaging art style to create alt modes for each of the 8 characters here. And that was super interesting. And then Keyword Studios, who does our colors, went back and researched so that they could get the color and depth fidelity to match the original G1 style. And it came out really well. I know you're only seeing the alt modes here, the bot modes here, but this was a really, really exciting product.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look. And Marcello, we're friends with Marcello. He's a great artist. I'm really glad he chose it. I think it's turned out really, really well. We were talking a little bit about the gameplay and like how so I'm here with my son and he's taught me more about gaming than that I've ever known. But you were starting to talk a little bit about how you've developed the game. You wanted to make it such that a newbie like myself could kind of get involved, and then of course hanging around my son, I learned about the nuances and the strategies and just how in depth we can get. We want to share a little about the development.
So you hear this phrase all the time: easy to learn, hard to master, and that was our guiding principle when we developed the Transformers trading card game. We wanted to make sure that the core rule set, like these steps in the turn, were pretty easy to grok. So whether you were an experienced tabletop gamer, but particularly if you were new to tabletop gaming, because we brought in a lot of Transformers fans, so this is their first trading card game experience, we needed it to be easily grokkable right out of the first box experience.
Yeah.
But easy to grok doesn't mean it's not complex or fun. It just means that your minds can process it in a very, very logical way.
Right.
So a lot of the depth that we built in is how the cards interact with one another, and that could be building your team and your deck, or when you're playing the game, the interactions between the cards on the table. And we layered in a lot of depth there that you can discover and find, and that you can master, so you can build your skill playing the game and really be really competitive.
Yeah. And again, I found this out playing with my son, who he developed a double shockwave deck.
Oh, how's that working for you?
He smoked me, so
yeah.
I'm done for a minute. Like, wow, yeah, I got destroyed. I needed a little more time.
Yeah, now it's Shockwave, Detour, and Aimless, but then when you sideboard, it's double Shockwave.
Right, so that's a really interesting strategy, going from a 3-wide team and then sideboarding in a really big character.
Yeah.
Beef here, you can change the way it plays a little bit, mix up your opponent's strategy. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Would you have any favorite characters?
So, Grapple. Grapple is one of my favorite characters. I still have my original Grapple. There's a cool story that's really important to me. My history of Transformers, when you're young, difficult to afford things. So I would mow lawns and stuff, and I would have a little bit of money, and I would buy one of the original small size. We call them Micromasters now, but they didn't call them back then. Like Warpath and Brawl.
The Mini-Bots.
The Mini-Bots, yeah. And at some point, someone pointed out to me, it was my granddad, that if I didn't just get money in and then get a toy as soon as I had enough money to get one, I could get something larger. And Grapple was the first thing that I saved for.
Nice.
And he's been meaningful to me. I still have my original Grapple.
Nice.
while we did a more modern take on grapple in the trading card game, he's still my favorite character.
Terrific. And you just announced Series 4?
So that is going to be War for Cybertron Siege 2.
Yeah.
So War for Cybertron
Whatever's
Siege...
coming next.
Yes. But it's sort of... War for Cybertron
Can't talk
Siege
about that.
1... I can't talk about it, but I will say Siege 1 really shows the characters and what's going on in sort of the earlier stages of the Siege storyline, and then Siege 2 is the conclusion of that war on Cybertron. And both sides get...
Wait, did you say Siege 2 is the conclusion of that war on Cybertron?
Of the Siege portion of it.
Okay, got it.
And both sides get a little bit desperate and they're taking pretty extreme measures in order to secure a victory. And so we've got a lot of really interesting things, both in the storyline and things that we added to the storyline for TCG, and you guys are going to be really guys.
Can't wait. I'm as a toy collector, I've always been fairly toy-centric, and I love that you're taking art cues from the toys that are out now. That these are side by side. It's a new way to sort of bring these characters to life in a way that hasn't been before, which is cool.
And Hasbro has given us an enormous amount of flexibility and latitude. We work with them regularly and closely, but we get to bring some interesting things. So, for example, we redesigned the fire cons.
Yeah, now we got to start bugging them to make toys of those. We haven't had them in years.
Well, that's a really interesting thing, because now that we've updated these to sort of the modern look and feel for a generation's character, we've been seeing fans like, oh, now I know that's what it could look like. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Here's another example. Remember Needlenose? The target?
I sure do.
Okay, so we took Needlenose and then we turned him into a Tetrajet. But he's not the Starscream style Tetrajet because Needlenose didn't look like the other Seekers, right? He had a distinctive body pattern.
Yep.
So we did a couple of cool things, like he has an elongated nose compared to the normal Tetrajets. He's got a really enhanced tail fin and the Delta Wing style so that he can have multiple underwing weapon pods. So it's that kind of thing that I find really exciting, because you see echoes of Transformers through the character design. So this is one of the things that I love the most about doing it, is updating these characters into the generation style.
Yeah. What else do you have? Other goodies?
These are all character cards from War for Cybertron Siege 1. So
Gotcha. We haven't found this one yet.
Okay, so General Megatron is a serious bruiser. And of course,
I built a two-pronged attack deck for these two guys.
For these two characters specifically?
In the app. I don't have the characters though, so I haven't used it.
That is exactly what that card is designed for.
Yeah.
The other thing I really like, I like a lot of this, but I really like the art and the creative. So, for two-pronged attack, we wanted to figure out how do you show Megatron, like characteristically, Megatron and Starscream have a little bit of an antagonistic relationship, but I mean, it's war, right? Like, they're going to be fighting. Yeah. So we came up with this really fantastic overhead shot of two of them sort of in the middle of an assault together, where Starscream's providing close air support for Megatron. And those little vignettes are some of my favorite stuff.
Awesome.
We got one more thing.
Let's hear it.
So, talk about going back into the past. Remember these guys?
I sure do. I send my robot points in for them.
Right, exactly. So we reached really way back to the beginning of Transformers and pulled the Omni-Bots into Siege and did a very light redesign. This is Dan Kahana's work.
Nice. From BotCon fame over the years, and a lot of comics too.
And Dan does a lot of work for us.
Nice. He's very good.
So we pulled these in as a special forces team. So this Convention Pack 2019 is a complete 25-star team, all 3 Omni-Bots. And they have a very interesting play style where they are able, each one of them is able to deploy an upgrade at the start of the game. So if your opening hand has an armor, a weapon, and a utility, you can put all 3 onto them at the beginning of the game. And then when you flip them, they get bonuses depending on how many Omni-Bots have upgrades on them.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's not a whole deck worth of battle cards?
No, this is just the characters.
Just the
This
characters.
is the 3 character cards. They are together a 25-point team, so they're ready to go. You just need to build a deck for them.
Whew. Drew, I really want to thank you for your time. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And pleasure to meet you, and I love to see what you guys keep having down in store. So thanks again.
Absolutely.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks.